now to some cheery news from here at home. Labor unions in Nigeria have suspended for 1 week the nationwide strike embarked upon following the disagreement between them and the federal government over negotiations for a new minimum wage for workers. The Trade Union Congress and the Nigeria Labour Congress, after a joint National Executive Council meeting in Abuja, announced the decision to call off the strike today, Tuesday. The strike, which started on Monday, June 3rd, will be put on hold for the next 7 days to allow for further negotiations and discussions between the labour unions and the federal government. The suspension is said to take effect immediately. Arise News will, of course, bring you more on this as events continue to unfold. Nigeria's former Minister of Works, Babatunde Fashola, has maintained that the country's problem is not the form of government being practiced and that restructuring, as being popularly clamored, is neither what the country needs to develop. The former governor of Lagos argued that what Nigerians care about is a better life and not a better document. While Fashola hinted that some people had made unsustainable claims and predictions about the future of Nigeria if there is no restructuring, he asked whether a constitutional amendment by itself will translate to accelerated national development. He therefore called for a rigorous process devoid of sentiment and emotions before any change of form or government is adopted. Well, Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now again to react to Babatunde Fashola's comment on Nigerians' clamor for restructuring. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. It's a pleasure to be here as usual.
Okay, so this statement that the former governor of Lagos State has made about us focusing on restructuring and saying it's not the silver bullet that we need, do you agree or do you disagree?
I agree to a stage.
To an extent.
And see, I will elaborate. You see, I cannot remember, but just recently, some people started clamoring for a return to parliamentary system. And I thought it was just a flash in the pan until I saw that some people were really clamoring for it, and it was discussed even in the National Assembly. Then the issue of restructuring, that has been in the pipeline. And the people clamoring for it as always presented it that until it was done, you get me, Nigeria will not have peace. But I disagree with the conclusion they have reached. And what Fashola is trying to say is that what we need is good governance. A government that responds to the needs of the people that put it in power. That is all what we need, not the constitution. But even he went on to say that at the occasion at which he spoke, he was eulogizing the person hosting the occasion, who has been in practice for 30 years, and is a son, and he said he respects that person for his erudition, and the fact that, you see, how he met him was almost anonymously, that he was going through the law reports, and he discovered his mettle and professional probity there. Unlike some lawyers who come into prominence through televisions. That's an attack on us, the media, who think on every political issue you must call a lawyer, as if the public forum or public opinion is a court of law. It's a misconception. And I'm happy Fashola has pointed that out. Now to come to his own advocacy on this issue now. I buy into it because I'm biased. I never thought we needed the parliamentary system instead of the presidential system of governance. People should look at how we got there. So the parliamentary system and the lawlessness in the legislature in Western Nigeria, you get me, that led to the first military coup and truncated democracy in Nigeria. Since then, you have had subsequent and successive military rules, yeah. And it was the military that imposed the constitution we have now on us. Because the military is a hierarchical system. It's a status-conscious hierarchical system. If somebody is above you, he must obey his orders. It's not the matter of freedom of speech, like we noted the other time. If somebody is below you, you must obey him. And that was why they imposed a unitary system on us and called it a federal system. And you see, for them to have more authority, they borrowed the American system, forgetting the American system has a system of checks and balances, separation of powers. That the executive is to make out policies. The legislature is to check the executive and their expenditure. The judiciary is to interpret the law. If we do it well, although no nation in the world seems to be doing it well now, including America, if you know what is happening to Trump and the countermeasures, yeah, and the way the Biden government is going, and having its role, I even planning for the future, so that even if Trump fails, to have planted enough civil servants, both in the civil service and in the justice department, to make sure and give conditions such that they will not be removed. So it is the American Constitution has been there ever since. But now the people are divided, totally divided, our culture, everything. And the next election is like a battleground. So there's nothing to learn from that anymore, except for us to how do I put it? To rejig our system, to rejig our values, to elect honest leaders, if it is still possible. Because I think that was what was in the mind of the legislators, even though they don't lead by example, when this new anthem came on board. You better go and learn it by heart if you don't know.
I've learned the first four.
I
know Nigeria, we healthy. I'm doing okay.
So when you talk about these issues, Fashola is sounding a note of fun. It's not the document. It is the political ethos and values that honest people should be in place to lead righteously. I want to sing the national anthem again, but we don't have enough time.
I'm glad you declared that we don't have enough time.
That is the sort of thing it's trying to say. Now on the issue of restructuring.
Okay, right, just as you round up before we go, yeah.
Just as I noted before, those who are talking about restructuring, is because of the unfairness in our distribution of benefits, our responsiveness to the needs of the electorate. That's why they are clamoring. If I'm to support them, I would say we should have a confederation. But people think as if you are talking like Biafra again. You get now. But one way or the other, if we don't rule ourselves justly, fairly, and with integrity, we will always have problems with the political system, and we blame it on the system instead of reassessing our own integrity and morality.
Yep. Very well said, Mr. Sobowale. Like you said, we can have the most perfect document, but if there's no good governance, then it's all in vain. Thank you so much for your time.